Hey, y'all, welcome back to Right at the Y. Well, today we're going to look at the Kentucky Jockey Club, which is a 2-year-old stakes race and one of the first Derby preps. So we get to see the 2-year-olds and how they've made it through their inaugural year and how they're going to move forward into the Derby trail. So let's take a look at it. So this is the Kentucky Jockey Club. It's a Grade 2. It's the 11th race on the Churchill Downs Saturday card, and it's running a mile and a 16th for 2-year-olds, and it's the companion to the Goldenrod. So this is one of the first Derby preps. We start looking at the 2-year-olds and how they've progressed over their 2-year-old year and moving into 3. And we'll go through them one at a time. Number 1 is Awesome Road. After a nice maiden score, I fell flat in the futurity, and I don't think that's a very good sign for Cox horses when they move up in class if they don't continue to improve. And it's kind of the same feeling that I've had with. You could say fierceness. Okay, well he had a great debut and then he bombed in the Champagne Stakes. Well, that's true, and it's very well possible, but. That Awesome Road could rebound, but I just didn't like anything about that futurity he ran, and he just wasn't. He just didn't look like he just wasn't good enough. Period, and that really turns me off this horse. I would not talk you out of using him, but at 7-2, I just don't like that price, and I'm going to let him beat me. So, but like I say, if you want to go that way and try to use him, that's fine. After a freshening, maybe he'll be better. But I think you have to have reservations, and so Awesome Road. I'll look to beat him. Number 2, Anna Marie is the best kind of improving because he's ran a better race as the class level increased, and when you get that, that's when you know a horse is going to run well, and that's exactly what happened. He got a good second with an improved late fraction, and that's also a great thing to see. And he should love 2 turns being by honor code, so I don't think that's a problem. He's going to be coming late. I don't know how much pace there is going to be in this race, but I think Anna Marie at 8-1 is a really good price, and I think he's a horse that is on the come. So we'll be using Anna Marie. Real Men Violin, number 3. I don't normally like maiden winners going into stakes races, but this one has been steadily improving, and that's the MO for Kenny McPeak with 2-year-olds. They get a little bit better every race. The concern is the class of the race in the races he's been running, the class of race he's been running in wasn't getting better in any of them. It stayed the same. So he was running at a better class level. He was improving, but the fields he was running against weren't better. So when you see that, then it's kind of iffy as to whether or not they're going to have that big move forward that you want to see. Regardless, he is improving, and that's important, and that's the kind of horse you want in this race. So I think Real Men Violin, excuse me, is one that I think you can use under comfortably. I don't know that I like the 5-1 price in comparison to the others, but I think he's one that you can use, and this is a test. And if he passes it, then you get a good ROI. Dancing Groom is another one that's improving with the rising class level, and he had an okay third in the Champagne. I wouldn't say it was a great one. He did hang way at the back and kind of. He was a little better than clunking up. I mean, he ran a good race. He got carried wide, and he did have good kick in the stretch. But if you look at his races prior to that, he was a little more forwardly placed. So I just wonder if there was they weren't necessarily thinking he's going to win this, but at least we can get a piece for the check. I don't know, but the other thing is I think they wanted to get this one around 2 turns at Saratoga on the turf, because a lot of times for 2-year-olds, you can't get around 2 turns unless it's on turf. So sometimes they put them in turf races, even though they're going to run them on dirt, just to get that 2-turn experience. So being by Vino Rosso, I mean, I think that's a pretty good assumption, and I don't think he should like the 2 turns with no problem. My only question about Dancing Groom is I think he's going to have to be a little more forwardly placed than he was in the Champagne Stakes, and that may sap a little bit of energy late. However, 10-1, I think you can use him. I think he's more a candidate for underneath. Nomos, number 5, he hasn't run on dirt yet, and the numbers just don't show where he'd be competitive here. And again, Todd Pletcher uses this meet as sort of a recycle bin. It's a place where he takes horses who need work, or they haven't panned out. So Nomos looks to me like that kind of horse, and I don't want any part of him. I can't use him. He hasn't run on dirt yet, and his numbers don't look good enough. Stretch Ride, I think, is one we have to seriously consider. Had a solid win with improving class numbers, which, of course, is what you want to see. The speed number could have been a little bit higher, but with another move forward, that we'll take care of that problem, and I think he's poised for another move forward. I can't say I really like the way he runs, to be honest. It looks like his stride is a little short to me, but what do I know? That's just from my eye view. But he gets over the track well, and he won like a horse who's definitely going to get better. So I like Stretch Ride here for sure. Risk It, number 7. He's another one. He improved off his maiden win in the Iroquois, and he got a pretty decent second, but he was it wasn't the pace, because the Patriot Spirit was way ahead of Risk It and another horse who I can't recall right now, and on Market Street. And so it wasn't that he succumbed necessarily to being close to a hot pace, but he was chasing a little more than some of the late runners. So maybe the late runners had a bit of an edge. He still got a good second. Can't take that away from him, but it kind of made you wonder a little bit, because if he really had a lot of class, that wouldn't have been an issue, where tactically he had been in the race. He would have had plenty left to kick home. So I think Risk It, he's had some time. He is a gun runner. 2 turns shouldn't be an issue. So if he can just settle a little bit better, I think he has a chance in this race, and I think he's one that we can definitely use. I don't know about 5-2. I'd like the odds to be a little better than that, but Risk It, I think, is one you can use comfortably. And then finally, One Red Cent. He's just not good enough. I have no idea why he's in this race at all, and I'll pass on him. So look at this race. I think Stretch Ride is the one that looks the best to me. But Honor Marie is kind of intriguing, and Risk It are the two that I kind of think are the most competitive. And again, I may be making a big mistake leaving off Awesome Road, but I just not a believer at this point, and I'm going to let him beat me. So here's the wagering strategy for the Jockey Club. I'm going to key the 6, Stretch Ride, is the one I think most likely to win this race. So we're going to key box 6 with 2, 3, 4, and 7. And I think that gives us a good safe bet. And I think Stretch Ride will be first or second in this race, obviously. And then I would box again 6 and 7, because those will be the shortest odds. So if that comes in, you double up. And then I'd throw, just to do it, I'd throw in the 1 who I'm not really big in on this race, but just in case he does comes back and runs a decent race, you get a saver box. I'd go 1-6 on that. And then a trifecta, I'd key the 6 again with 2, 3, 4, and 7, and I'd key the 6 for first or second in that one. Then something I'll throw in there as a double. Now, this would be with the Goldenrod, race 10. So it's a little backwards, so obviously you got to put this in before the 10th race. But I would use 2, 4, 7, and 8 with the 6. And since the 8 Torpedo Honor will likely be the shortest price, do it again straight, 8-6, and that way if it comes in, you double up on the double. So this race, I think is pretty well form fitting, and like I said, we got to have the 1 cooperate and not factor in this race, but I'm pretty confident that'll be the case. Hope so anyway, and this is how I would attack this race. So that's the Kentucky Jockey Club. I think it's going to be a really competitive race. I think it's Stretch Ride's race to lose, but there are some worthy competitors for sure, and hopefully we can get some value out of our wagering. Hope our analysis helps you, as always, with your own wagering strategy, and I wish you the best of luck. And, of course, if you do like content like this, please like and subscribe, and we do appreciate your support, as always. We're going to have some more postings for this weekend, so be on the lookout for those. I'll talk to you soon, and until then, be well.